How do the roles and responsibilities of a professional with US CMA differ from a US CPA?
CPAs also work in accounting, in planning, in analysis. So this is another field where valuations where CPAs work. अब क्या है ये जो area है, this is overlapped with CMAs.
So what are the key advantages of obtaining a US CMA in terms of global recognition?
You'd find US, Canada, UK, Australia, all of these countries, UAE, Middle East at large, they recognize both CPA and CMA qualifications.
Why should someone take up US CMA instead of CPA? In the ever-evolving landscape of accounting certifications, choosing the right one can be challenging. Both the US CPA and CMA are globally recognized and respected designations, but they cater to different career goals and professional aspirations. So what set these two certifications apart, and how do you determine which one aligns best with your career ambitions? Welcome viewers, you are watching Edumont Mythbuster Podcast Season 6. I am your host Mohit Taneja, and along with me is Rohan sir, our chief mentor, CPA and CMA faculty at Edumont, and we are breaking myths on why US CMA, why not US CPA.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, welcome Rohan.
Thank you for having me. Please, let's talk
so
about
Rohan,
this.
If we talk about the very first question, the common question which has been asked by every candidate at the time, every time we discuss, CPA versus CMA. So I have listed down few questions for you, and I want you to answer them for their benefit. So my very first question is, how do the roles and responsibilities of a professional with US CMA differ from a US CPA?
That's a very, very valid question. That's actually a very good
Especially
question.
in the corporate environment when you get sent.
In a typical corporate environment, क्या difference होता है, क्या work में क्या difference होता है? That's actually a valid point. यहीं से comparison करना चाहिए शुरू. So I'll tell you the first thing. If you're talking about, for example, your CPA. So CPAs work in auditing, attestation engagements भी साथ में करते हैं. They may also, different set of CPAs may also do tax work. So tax is another field where CPAs are highly active, especially if it's international taxation, US taxation, IRS law, things like that. Tax planning, tax consultancy, ये भी हम देते हैं. But in addition to that, you'll also find CPAs also work in accounting, in planning, in analysis. So this is another field where valuations where CPAs work. अब क्या है ये जो area है, this is overlapped with CMAs. CMAs also work in FP&A, financial planning, analysis, accounting and reporting. They work in the same domain, this particular domain. They don't have access to, CMAs don't ideally go work in auditing or taxation. They work in accounting, reporting, planning, analysis. That's the domain that they share. तो ये काम common है हमारा जो हम करते हैं. If you're looking at the job scope. और बताओ.
So what are the key advantages of obtaining a US CMA in terms of global recognition?
So global recognition के
right,
point of view
and applicability compared to a US CPA.
Global recognition के point of view से अगर बात करें तो I'll just tell you very clearly, there isn't much between the two degrees. कोई difference खास नहीं है. IMA is recognized. IMA वो है जो body जो CMA की degree देती है, Certified Management Accountancy की. So that body is recognized in 150 countries. And AICPA is the body that gives out the CPA का qualification का designation basically. So AICPA is recognized in 130 countries, but is recognized in 156 accounting professional bodies, या by 156 accounting professional bodies. So makes no difference. ये बड़े numbers हैं बहुत. हमें 150, 130 से फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. If you're talking global applicability, तो हर उस country में जहाँ we as a professional global F&A player or as a professional working in the field would want to work, those countries are covered by both these qualifications. You'd find US, Canada, UK, Australia, all of these countries, UAE, Middle East at large, they recognize both CPA and CMA qualifications. So उस point of view से तो common ही है.
So फिर what's the actual difference between the two when it comes to exam syllabus, cost, starting packages क्या होंगे, salary
That's a
कितनी
valid
बन
question.
जाएगी?
Absolutely. ये differences हैं actually अगर देखा जाए तो. It's not in global applicability. Job scope में difference I have explained that to you, but if you're looking for a FP&A based career, if that is your objective, then both CPA and CMA will suffice. But then there are differences in the level of difficulty. There are differences in the cost associated with the two of these things. There are differences in your starting pay package, of course, as well. If you're a fresher, then your starting pay package will also be different as a CPA as it would be, for example, as you if you were a CMA. तो वो difference रहेगा. तो ये चीज़ें हैं जो अलग हैं इनकी. डिफिकल्टी, नंबर ऑफ एग्जाम्स, कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्व, पे पैकेज इन्वॉल्व, यहाँ डिफरेंस है. इसे एक्सप्लोर करना बेटर रहेगा.
So let's start with the exploration.
चलो
कहाँ पे
करते
क्या
हैं.
है. So
पहले
if
किसकी
we
बात
start
करें?
about let's say exam, तो
ठीक है.
exam में कहाँ difference है?
एग्जाम एंड सिलेबस की डिफिकल्टी की बात कर लेते हैं.
Yeah, even in term of content.
इन
also.
टर्म्स ऑफ कंटेंट ऑल्सो भी बात कर लेते हैं. कंटेंट का डिफरेंशिएशन बताता हूँ क्विकली. सीपीए में कंटेंट ज़्यादा होता है इन कंपैरिजन टू सीएमए. सीपीए के अंदर ऑडिटिंग, टैक्सेशन, अकाउंटिंग और एक स्पेशलाइजेशन, ये 4 चीज़ें पढ़नी पड़ती हैं. whereas when you talk about your CMA, there's only got 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is more about अलग ये मिथ रहेगा लोगों को कि CMA है तो पूरा ही अकाउंटिंग होगा.
हाँ,
पर ऐसा नहीं होता.
रिलेट करता
हाँ, ऐसा नहीं होता. सीएमए के अंदर एक्चुअली अगर देखें तो पार्ट 1 में सिर्फ 20% कंटेंट अकाउंटिंग है. फिर उसके आगे वो कॉस्टिंग में, इकोनॉमिक्स में और अलग चीज़ों की बात करता है. इट्स मोर अबाउट एनालिसिस, प्लानिंग, फोरकास्टिंग, बजटिंग, एलोकेटिंग कॉस्ट, देन इट इज़ जस्ट अबाउट अकाउंटिंग. ऐसा नहीं है. सो बुक कीपिंग का काम नहीं है बेसिकली. मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ, सिर्फ अकाउंटिंग नहीं है. ये पार्ट 1 है. पार्ट 2 स्ट्रेटेजिक फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट. सो सीएमए के अंदर 2 ही पार्ट्स हैं, सीपीए में 4 हैं. सीपीए के अंदर 4 पार्ट्स डिटेल में आप पढ़ रहे हो. सीएमए के अंदर कई सारी चीज़ें हैं बट आप उनको बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में भी नहीं पढ़ रहे, बट आप उनका ओवरव्यू लेते चल रहे हो ताकि एक होलिस्टिक व्यू बन जाए आपका. और 12 कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी सीएमए के अंदर वो दे रहे हैं आपको. उसी का वो 12 का उन्होंने सिलेबस बना रखा है. दैट इज द आइडिया. सो इट्स वेरी इन दैट वे इज वेल डिफाइंड. नाउ इफ आई टॉक अबाउट डिफिकल्टी, हियर इज द डील. सीपीए इज अ बिट मोर डिफिकल्ट. ऑफ कोर्स सीपीए का पे ऑफ इज ऑल्सो हायर, बट सीपीए इज अ बिट मोर डिफिकल्ट प्राइमरली बिकॉज 4 एग्जाम है तो टाइमलाइन भी बढ़ जाती है. आपको ज़्यादा पढ़ना पड़ेगा, ज़्यादा एग्जाम्स हैं. सीएमए के अंदर 2 ही हैं. But also, when we talk about CPA, the individual exam is a bit more complex. क्योंकि इसमें 5 टेस्टलेट हैं, TBSs भी हैं, MCQs भी हैं. MCQs और TBSs की इक्वल वेटेज है. Whereas when we talk about CMA, तो CMA में MCQs 100 आते हैं, उनकी 75% वेटेज है. और अगर वो पास कर लो आप तो फिर उसके आगे जाके आपका सेकंड ग्रुप खुलता है एक एग्जाम में जिसमें 2 ऐसे बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. मतलब जो 10th में वो नहीं होते थे पैसेज बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस, पैसेज वाले, वो रेफरेंस टू कॉन्टेक्स्ट इंग्लिश में नहीं आते थे वैसे वाले, बट फ्रॉम एन अकाउंटिंग परस्पेक्टिव, फ्रॉम अ मैनेजमेंट परस्पेक्टिव, दैट्स द आइडिया. तो फ्रॉम अ सीएमए परस्पेक्टिव तो वैसा कोट फ्रॉम द कॉन्टेक्स्ट वाला रहता है. 2 क्वेश्चंस एंड इट्स ऑब्वियसली बस इतना ही है. दैट्स इट, खत्म. तो 5 ग्रुप्स की जगह आपका एक एग्जाम में 2 ही ग्रुप है. MCQs का वेटेज ज्यादा है तो इट्स बिट easier to pass, easier to crack. Okay, but with that being said, can I tell you one more thing, Mohit? I think I've answered to my point of view. अगर मैं बोलूँ तो मेरे को लगता है मैंने कंटेंट का तो पता है ही कि टॉपिकल क्या डिफरेंस है. मैंने ये भी बता दिया आपको कि डिफिकल्टी में CMA इज ईजियर. बट मैं 1-2 चीज़ें बोलना चाहता हूँ इन एडिशन टू दैट. आई थिंक उससे थोड़ा कॉन्टेक्स्ट सेट होएगा. यार यूएस में क्या होता है आमतौर पे, लोग CPA करते हैं, क्वालिफाई करने के बाद देन दे इलेक्ट अच्छा हम किस डोमेन में काम कर रहे हैं. राइट अगर ऑडिटिंग के डोमेन में कोई, तो फॉर एग्जांपल वो CISA सर्टिफाइड इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम्स ऑडिटर का डेजिग्नेशन ले लेगा.
They go for specialization.
It's a second designation that you're getting.
Right.
Similarly, if you're, for example, somebody who's working in tax, you'll probably get the tax planner's certification, so certified tax planner. And then if you're somebody who's working in accounting, reporting, planning and analysis, then you would choose to get the CMA specialization. एक तरीके से it's a secondary designation. तो CMA बाहर ना एक specialization है. Now again, बाहर भी a small percentage of people do as freshers choose to do their CMA. ये होता है. But India में what we see is a larger number of people in comparison to US as freshers choose to do their CMA first, and then if they see any value in it, they may choose to do their CPA, which is one way of going about it. मैं इसकी बात भी करना चाहूँगा तो मैं करूँगा. चलो पहले आप अपने क्वेश्चंस खत्म करो, उनकी बात करते हैं.
With this, we get an understanding that CMA is basically easier, but again we also need to discuss about the cost because we need to think about the money also. Many time people take their decision on the basis of the investment.
Yes.
In their career. तो अगर
पर इन्वेस्टमेंट सिर्फ पैसे की नहीं, टाइम की भी होती है.
राइट. तो वो दोनों चीजें.
दोनों की बात करूं,
Yes.
मैं करता हूँ. पहली चीज तो ये कि यार, इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट मनी इन्वेस्टेड for CMA, you will find the cost is about, if you're a professional, let's say you're not somebody who's a student, you're a working professional, or not a working professional but not at university either. In that case, you're considered a professional. So your cost would be about 1,80,000. ये upper end पे बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. If you're somebody who's able to get, इस पे discounts वगैरह भी होते हैं, रिडक्शन आती है, आई में कुछ डिस्काउंट्स भी देता है. इफेक्टिवली आप 170 तक में मान के चलो प्रोफेशनल कर लेता है. इफ यूर स्टूडेंट तो और प्राइसिंग डिफरेंशियल है, आईएमए की तरफ से और भी सस्ता हो जाता है, तो आपकी कॉस्ट 135 के आसपास आ जाती है या 140 के आसपास आ जाती है. अगेन इसमें भी स्कॉलरशिप्स वगैरह भी होती हैं, तो वो अलग कहानी है बिल्कुल ही. बट द पॉइंट इज सीएमए इज सिग्निफिकेंटली चीपर टू डू इन कंपैरिजन टू सीपीए, बिकॉज सीपीए वुड कॉस्ट यू अबाउट 4 lakhs मान लो. है 384 एग्जैक्ट कॉस्ट उसकी, बट आप 4 lakhs मान लो यार, चलो, क्योंकि डॉलर्स में फीस वगैरह जाती है, थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे फ्लक्चुएशन,
4 लाख,
तो 4 लाख मान लो आप, ठीक है, उसमें सब कुछ मिला के. सिमिलरली सीएमए में सब कुछ मिला के, स्टूडेंट हो, यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ रहे हो, फुल टाइम यूनिवर्सिटी में, अगेन कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंस डज नॉट क्वालिफाई फॉर स्कॉलरशिप्स. You have to be working, you have to be in the university full time, and if you want pricing, then in that case again regular college is required, right? So you would need to be a regular college student, then your pricing is about 135, something like that, even less. And if you're somebody who's not a full-time university student, be it under or post-grad, then in that case your pricing goes up to 150 160 के आसपास जाती है, या 170 मान लो, चलो यार इसमें भी डॉलर का कंपोनेंट होता ही है, थोड़ा कॉस्ट ऊपर मान लो आप, 170 मान लो, तो तब भी सीएमए सिग्निफिकेंटली चीपर. टाइम वाइज अगर बात करूं तो अगेन CPA takes up more time. 4 exams will require you to dedicate time for 12, sometimes even 18 months if you're a working professional. But if you're talking about your CMA, then in that case it's just so much more easier, because सिर्फ 6 से 8 महीने में ना, even if you're a little सुस्त, 6 से 8 महीने में 2 पार्ट निकल जाते हैं easily.
Correct.
तो CMA में टाइम भी कम लगता है, और फिर वो करके आप क्वालिफाई हो गए तो फिर आप you can go start your job and then look at further investment down the road. तो CMA का एडवांटेज ये है. चलो और बताओ.
So we discussed about the money, कितना पैसा लगने वाला, हमारे को उसकी एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, बट ये लगाने के बाद कमाएंगे कितने. So what's the salary? So finally let's talk about the starting salary
that's a good
CMA
question.
fresher can expect.
That's a good question. So the starting salary a CMA can expect is from 6 to 8 lakhs, depending on the fact that, देखो again, if you're a qualified CMA, तो उस केस में ना you need 2 years of work experience to get your CMA degree, your certification, right? 2 years experience दिखाना पड़ता है. वो 2 years experience है अगर आपके पास, and this is prior experience. ऐसा नहीं कि क्वालिफाई होने के बाद का जरूरी है, पहले का भी होगा तो चलेगा. prior experience अगर है, आपने दिखा दिया है, तो in that case 8 lakhs is your starting salary. If you're somebody who's a fresher, absolute fresher, कॉलेज में थे, सीधा CMA कर लिया, कॉलेज खत्म हुआ, CMA के दोनों पेपर पार हो चुके थे, बाहर निकले मार्केट में, 6 lakhs is your starting salary. ठीक है, all you've invested,
and that is minimum we are talking about.
Again, all you've invested in, if you're somebody who's a working professional with 2 years experience, you're in that bucket, or you can get there. So in that case, all you've invested is 1,60,000-1,70,000, something like that, and you got 8 lakhs in return. If you're a student, you've invested even less. कॉलेज में पढ़ रहे थे तो you've invested 135 something, and you're getting 6 lakhs in return. Okay, but if you're a CPA, things are a bit different. If you're a CPA, your starting salary as an absolute fresher with no experience is 8 lakhs. If you have the required 1 year of work experience, in that case you can get your license, then your starting salary is 10 to 12 lakhs. So 8 to 10 for a fresher who's got no experience, 10 to 12 for somebody who's got a CPA license. So the pay scale is different, and again the discrepancy keeps changing. But चलो अभी इसमें एक पॉइंट और है, बाद में बात करूंगा, आप कंटिन्यू करो क्वेश्चन.
So but if I have to conclude on this, कि if we talk about a final conclusion, why should someone take up US CMA instead of CPA? So what should be your answer in that?
That is the point I want to discuss. Absolutely. Here's the deal. If you're somebody who's already qualified, you've got yourself a CPA, a CA, ACCA, a CFA, you're just looking for an edge. You're looking for...
You already have some sort of designated degree with.
Yeah, you're already a senior manager and you're figuring out the next level. There's 8 or 10 guys like me. There's only 1 seat open. I'm doing good work, but so is the next guy. I'm qualified, but so is the next guy. What can I do differently? CMA is your bet. Minimal investment, maximum bang. You know the increment you get on the next level will be more, much more than the cost of doing your CMA. That's the first group of people who should think about it. Second group of people who should think about CMA are people who are freshers. Absolute freshers. If you're somebody who's in college and after you graduate from your college, from your commerce graduation, your starting salary is expected to be 2.5, 3.5, 4.5 lakhs. That's the truth of the market. Okay, if you're somebody really good, you're from a Shri Ram college, then it's a different story. Then forget me. You're already in a different league. But if you're somebody who's an average normal student, truth of the matter is after graduation 2.5 lakh से 3 लाख 4 लाख इससे ऊपर सैलरी नहीं मिलती है, right? That's the truth.
Correct.
But if within those 3 years of your graduation you take up the CMA and choose to do the 2 exams, which is very easy, you can do 1 exam 1 year. That's simple and easy. Just 1 exam 1 year. If you do even that much in the 3 years, once you're out of college, once your final exams are done, while your student, your fellow friends, other students are fighting for college placements, you will already be placed at 6 to whatever, 6 lakhs ke aaspas hi hoga, you will be placed at 6. You'll already have a bump up. Next year, you'll have a better shot at promoting yourself. Then, if you're somebody who's tight on money, you don't want a lot of investment from your parents as a fresher from college, even then this works. Put a limited amount of money in, get yourself a reasonably good job at a RSM or a Big Four, or if not a Big Four, then at least a Genpact, an Accenture, something like that. When you're placed, you have a reasonably good package, then you save up and you choose to do your CPA or something else in the future. That's up to you.
Correct.
So that's another way of looking at it. ये लोगों को CMA maximum kick देगा. जिन लोगों को अभी instant promotion चाहिए, long term commitment नहीं चाहिए यार. I'm a working professional. I've got 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years of experience. And I'm not looking to do a long term course right now. Just have 6 months or less to put in. CMA is your bet. Even as a working professional, putting in only 2 hours on a daily basis, 6 महीने में CMA हो सकती है. दोनों part हो सकते हैं. It's not impossible at all. I've got people doing it. That's the idea.
So viewers, I believe you must have got a clarity now whether you should go for US CMA, whether you should go for US CPA, where you stand in your current career goals. So if you want to know more about CMA, आपके कुछ डाउट हैं CMA eligibility को लेके, fee को लेके, content को या study material को लेके, do put your questions in the comment section below and we will answer those, and you can also reach out to us via our website. Also, we are conducting sessions on every Saturday 4:30 where we are giving information about CPA and CMA in an end-to-end format. And if you want to register, you can go to the description section and you can put your details and one of the team member will reach out to you.
As always, like, share, comment, subscribe. Please do tell us if you like our videos. If you don't like our videos, don't like something about it, then definitely mention it. We'll learn from it. We read all our comments and we'll definitely
answer them
respond
also
to you. Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Hope this helps. Bye.